Big threat, bigger stakes. Braverman urges Conservatives to counter Reform Party's rise. In a striking critique, Suella Braverman has cautioned her fellow Conservative MPs against becoming too comfortable, emphasizing the rising political challenge posed by the Reform Party. The Home Secretary expressed concerns over a perceived sense of complacency within the Conservative Party, warning that it could jeopardize their ability to retain voter support and maintain a robust electoral presence. Braverman's remarks underline the growing pressure within Tory ranks as the Reform Party, led by Richard Tice, seeks to capitalize on voter dissatisfaction with traditional parties. She argued that dismissing this threat could prove costly for the Conservatives, particularly in key constituencies where reform is gaining traction. Addressing her colleagues, Braverman criticized what she described as a lack of urgency in addressing voter concerns, ranging from immigration to economic stability. She emphasized that the party must present clear, decisive solutions to regain the trust of the electorate, particularly those who feel disillusioned with the government's performance. This warning comes amidst broader challenges facing the Conservative Party, including declining poll numbers and internal divisions over policy direction. Braverman's call for vigilance and action highlights the importance of addressing the grassroots concerns of voters and staving off competition from emerging political forces. Her remarks have sparked a mixed response within the party, with some acknowledging the need for renewed focus, while others downplay the threat posed by reform. However, Braverman's intervention has undoubtedly added to the ongoing debate about the future direction of the Conservative Party and its ability to navigate an increasingly fragmented political landscape. In an impassioned address that has sparked intense debate within political circles, Suella Braverman, the UK Home Secretary, has issued a stark warning to her fellow Conservative Party MPs. She cautioned against what she described as a growing complacency within the party, asserting that this lack of urgency in addressing key issues could leave the Conservatives vulnerable to a significant challenge from the Reform Party. Her remarks highlight the intensifying pressures on the Conservative Party as it grapples with declining public support, internal divisions, and the rise of smaller, more targeted political movements. The Reform Party, a growing force. Braverman's concerns stem from the steady rise of the Reform Party, led by Richard Tice, which has sought to position itself as a credible alternative for disaffected Conservative voters. The party has gained traction by focusing on a mix of populist rhetoric and policy positions that resonate with sections of the electorate frustrated by the current government's performance. Issues such as immigration control, economic stagnation, and perceived failures in delivering on Brexit promises have provided fertile ground for reform to grow its base. The Home Secretary's remarks underline a broader anxiety within the Conservative Party about how to manage the erosion of its traditional voter base. Recent polls have shown a steady decline in Conservative support, with many voters signaling they feel disillusioned with the party's ability to tackle pressing national issues effectively. Braverman's warning is clear: underestimate the Reform Party at your peril. During her address, Braverman did not hold back in her critique of her fellow MPs. She accused some of her colleagues of being too complacent about the challenges ahead, particularly in light of the Reform Party's growing influence. "We cannot afford to sit idly by, assuming that our electoral dominance will remain unchallenged," Braverman stated. The political land. Her comments reflect a broader frustration within certain factions of the Conservative Party, which feel that the leadership has failed to adequately respond to voter dissatisfaction. From wavering positions on immigration to inconsistent economic policies, these factions argue that the party's lack of direction is creating a vacuum that parties like Reform are eager to fill. Key issues at stake. Braverman identified several critical areas where the Conservatives need to refocus their efforts to regain public trust. Immigration. As Home Secretary, Braverman has been a staunch advocate for stricter immigration controls. She has frequently argued that the current system is not working and that the government must take a firmer stance to reduce illegal migration and address the public's concerns about border security. Economic stability. The Conservative Party's handling of the economy has come under increasing scrutiny, particularly amid the cost of living crisis. Braverman stressed the need for clear, actionable economic policies that prioritize growth, lower taxes, and reduce the burden on working families. Delivering Brexit promises. One of the Reform Party's key strategies has been to highlight what it sees as the government's failure to fully deliver on the promises of Brexit. Braverman warned that if the Conservatives do not take decisive steps to address these criticisms, they risk ceding ground to their political rivals. Restoring public confidence. The Home Secretary emphasized the importance of rebuilding trust with the electorate by demonstrating competence and decisiveness in governance. She argued that this requires not just words but tangible actions that resonate with voters. Braverman's remarks have exposed deep divisions within the Conservative Party about how best to navigate these challenges. While some MPs have echoed her concerns, others have dismissed the threat posed by the Reform Party as overstated. These divisions reflect broader tensions within the party between those who favor a more populist, hardline approach and those advocating for a more centrist, pragmatic strategy. Critics of Braverman's position argue that her emphasis on immigration and other divisive issues risks alienating moderate voters and undermining the party's broader electoral appeal. However, her supporters contend that these issues are precisely what resonate most with the party's base and that failing to address them head-on would be a grave mistake. The road ahead. Braverman's intervention comes at a pivotal moment for the Conservative Party. With a general election looming on the horizon, the party faces an uphill battle to retain its parliamentary majority. The rise of the Reform Party adds an additional layer of complexity to this challenge, as it threatens to split the right-wing vote and siphon off crucial support in key constituencies. To counter this threat, Braverman argued that the party must adopt a more proactive approach, one that prioritizes the needs and concerns of ordinary voters. "We need to be bold, unapologetic, and decisive in our actions," she said. "Only then can we hope to regain the trust of the British people and secure our position as the party of government." The rise of the Reform Party and the challenges facing the Conservatives are indicative of a broader fragmentation within UK politics. As traditional party loyalties continue to erode, voters are increasingly seeking alternatives that align more closely with their values and priorities. This trend poses significant challenges not only for the Conservatives but also for Labour and other established parties, which must contend with an increasingly unpredictable and volatile electorate. Braverman's warning serves as a reminder that political complacency can be costly. Whether her party heeds this warning and takes the necessary steps to adapt to the changing political landscape remains to be seen. What is clear, however, is that the stakes are higher than ever, and the decisions made in the coming months will have profound implications for the future of the Conservative Party and the country as a whole. Suella Braverman's outspoken remarks have reignited debate within the Conservative Party about its future direction and strategy. By highlighting the growing threat posed by the Reform Party and criticizing her colleagues' perceived complacency, she has drawn attention to the urgent need for change. Whether her warning will galvanize the party into action or deepen existing divisions remains an open question. One thing, however, is certain: the Conservatives face a challenging road ahead, and how they respond to these challenges will determine their fate in the next election and beyond.